Why is Gen Z starting to dress up like pilgrims? Like, I need an explanation because the other day I was at the bar and I swear I saw a horde of pilgrims. I was with a couple friends at the bar. We were minding our own business, chatting amongst each other, when out of nowhere from behind me, I hear this like trot sound. It sounded like a horse was going by. I turn around to find out where this sound is coming from, only to see a group of about 7 people all wearing wooden clogs. Also, some of them were actually wearing top hats, like the black top hats that pilgrims wear. And another girl was wearing a freaking apron, like she was about to churn butter. And when I first saw them, I was thinking like, oh, how cool, Amish people in my local bar, because they had to be Amish, right? Wrong. So when one of the girls from the group wearing a bonnet walked by, my curious ass wanted to know what brought her whole like Amish group there. So I tried to ask in the most polite manner, what brought you guys here? She looked at me like I was stupid, and she was just like, we were just meeting up with some friends. Then I kid you not, she pulls out a little vape and then takes a hit from it. I was thinking like, oh, I didn't know Amish people could do that. Anyways, throughout the rest of the night, this group of people are doing the least Amish things. Like, I'm starting to think that they're not Amish. Like, the girl with the bonnet took her bonnet off and she started whipping her hair in circles on the dance floor. I was like, there is no way in hell that these people are actually Amish. And they all had cell phones too. Eventually, I get too fed up and I go up to one of the dudes and I'm just like, what's with the outfits? This dude also looks at me like I'm freaking crazy, as if he was just wearing like a t-shirt and jeans. And he goes on to tell me, he's like, oh, it's just our style. Yeah, I was just so confused after that. And me and my friends were like, what is going on? I think the outfits were like sick. It's just, I didn't know that this was like a whole style. I didn't know pilgrim was in. I am so thankful that some of us white people are finally starting to realize our collective lack of basic hygiene knowledge. But with that being said, I do think we're gonna need a little bit more than just awareness to solve this problem. The reason I bring this up is because recently I saw the true extent to this problem. A white person so stinky, it shook me to my core, and I fear that this is not an outlier. Now, for context, the person in question is my friend, and we occasionally go to the gym together. But he doesn't want to pay for a gym membership, so I let him come to my apartment because there's a gym here. Normally, after we're done working out and we're all stinky and sweaty, we split ways, and I assume that he goes home and showers like I do. But this one day, my dear friend had a date to go on, and for some reason, he wanted to get a pump in before his date. So he asked me, oh, can I use your shower because I don't have much time before my date? Of course, I said sure. So we get done working out and we go back up to my apartment, and for some reason this day we were like especially rank. But because he had a date to get to, I let him shower first and I kind of just waited around. But I was not waiting for long. This man got out of the shower like comedically quickly. It was like maybe a minute, if not 30 seconds. So I kind of jokingly was like, oh, that was quick. My friend responds, well, I did the upside down triangle. I'm just like, the what? He goes on to tell me, you know, both pits and nunu, as if it was common knowledge. I was just racking my brain. I was like, what about your... And the wildest part, in my opinion, is he was really excited to go on this date. Like, he really liked this girl. Yeah, this problem's big. We got a whole language around being unclean. Now, I am no kid hater. I'm not like one of those adults that hates children. I actually think that kids should be allowed to go out in the world, make mistakes, and learn from them. But there is one particular breed of teenage boy that I think we should have a little bit of a tighter leash on. Now, the only reason I bring this up is because last week I actually experienced this breed of teenage boy. I was at the grocery store just minding my own business, doing my grocery shopping, when out of nowhere I hear someone scream, I need some help! So I turn around all panicked to see who needs help, only to see this Greg Heffley looking kid with the widest smile on his face. And for like a good 3 seconds, I'm just looking at him with confusion and judgment, and he's looking back at me, and I'm just thinking like, what are you doing, man? Anyways, I continue shopping, and I kind of write off that whole experience like it was a one-time thing and that kid wouldn't do it again. Update. He did it again. Moments later, he releases the most blood-curdling scream, and he's just like, Alan, I need some help. Now, I'm pretty annoyed at this point, so I go up to this kid, and I'm just like, what the fudge are you doing? He doesn't say a word. He just looks at me and goes like this. I I was thinking violence, but luckily for me, a store associate came walking down the aisle and actually confronted the kid. Store associate is straight up. He's just like, I can't have you screaming in my store. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. The kid plays dumb and he's just like, bro, that wasn't me. And I'm just thinking like, you little liar. Like, I saw you. Now at this point, it is personal between me and this menace. So I chime in and I tell the store associate, I'm like, yeah, I saw him do it. And that was enough for the store associate. He was just like, get the F out of here. I'm watching as this kid is getting walked out when out of nowhere, I hear another scream from the other side of the store. And it was the same thing. It was, I need some help. And then the kid that I saw with my own eyes scream was just like, see, it wasn't me. Then the store associate starts apologizing to this kid. He was just like, I am so sorry. I thought you were the one screaming. And now I look like I just ratted out this kid for no reason. Nonetheless, I continue my shopping and eventually I get to the other side of the store where I see another teenage boy and I just knew that it was the kid's friend that screamed. I could just tell he had those same crazy eyes. Luckily, nothing else happened after that, but I feel like this archetype of teenage boy exists in like every community. If you're walking down the street and someone comes up to you and asks you if you want to be in their street interview, please just take it from me and be cautious and maybe don't do it. Because someone came up to me while I was walking down the street and asked if I wanted to be in their interview, and I said yes, and it ended very badly. I was by myself just walking back to the train station after this event when this random dude comes up to me and he's just like, hey, by any chance, do you have any time to answer some questions for TikTok? Now, without even thinking, I said sure, because I wanted to support a fellow content creator, but looking back, this was a mistake. But just for context, there's two people, the guy interviewing me and another random dude with a camera. Anyways, first thing this dude asked me is who would win in a fight, 100 men or one gorilla? Now, I was quite familiar with this question because it's quite the trendy topic right now, so I had my answer ready. So I was just like, I think the gorilla would win. I think the gorilla would beat all 100 men. But the questions don't stop there. He goes on to be like, why do you think the gorilla would win? I tried to keep it simple. I was just like, I don't know. I just think gorillas are stronger. This dude does not let up. He's just like, but it's 100 men. So I go into like my science as to why I think one gorilla could beat 100 men. It's like only so many men could get their hands on the gorilla at one time. Like the gorilla is really strong. I literally made a video about this. Nonetheless, as I'm explaining this, I kid you not, someone dressed up in a giant gorilla costume sneaks up behind me and then starts attacking the camera guy. In that moment, I was terrified because I genuinely thought a real gorilla was attacking the camera guy. But my adrenaline kicks in and I just start running and I keep running and then I stop and I'm like, wait, this has to be a prank. So I turn around only to see the gorilla with his mask off talking to the guy that was just interviewing me. And then I look to the other side of the street only to see another camera dude that recorded the entire thing. I swear they hired those dudes dressed up as gorillas in Times Square. This was the same street I was prank interviewed before. Coincidence? I don't know. But yeah, I hope those street interviews never see the light of day because I had the fear of God in my eyes. Have you guys ever met siblings that seem to be a little more than just siblings? Like if you didn't know they were brother and sister, you'd assume that they were dating? Because the other day I met siblings like this and it was very uncomfortable. For context, a couple days ago I went to this concert and right in front of us at this concert was this couple, or what I assumed to be a couple. Now I was extremely close to this couple, like mere inches away from them because we were packed into this venue like sardines. So I could hear like everything they were talking about. Right off the bat, I thought they were a couple because of the way the girl was speaking to the guy. She was going like, Joshy, when does the concert start? Or like, I'm so excited. And she kept on like tapping his chest casually. Concert starts and this dude has both hands on this girl's shoulders and he's like swaying with her. So I have no doubt in my mind that they're a couple. Like I'm not even thinking about it. Eventually I hear the girl go, Joshy, I can't see. Can I get up on your shoulders? And then I see her proceed to get up on this man's shoulders. In the moment, I didn't think anything of it. I thought they were just a couple with oddly similar facial features. Nonetheless, the concert ends and I see the two of them taking a selfie together to like commemorate the concert. So I thought I'd be nice and ask if they want a picture together, if they want me to take their picture. I ask, they say yes. I take the dude's phone, I take a picture of them, and when I tell you they were on top of each other in this photo, they were on top of each other. I hand back the phone, they're both like, thank you so much, and then I hear the girl ask the guy, so are we Ubering to mine or yours? The dude replies, oh, dad is picking us up. What in the Alabama? I was like in shock. I think I was shaking. But yeah, we left after that, and I'm still kind of reeling from it. And it's okay to be close with your siblings. Like, I went to Coachella with my sister. It's just, that's a little too close, a lot too close. Also, I don't live in the South, so this just isn't normal for me. I used to not believe that pick-me boys were like a real problem, having not really interacted with many of them. That's until the other night when I interacted with maybe the most insufferable pick-me boy. I was at a party with a couple friends, and we were hanging out in the corner just chatting when this random dude comes up to our group. Right off the bat, he compliments one of the girls in my group. He was just like, I really like the essence of your outfit. And she was nice about it. She was just like, thank you. But like, admittedly, that is a weird compliment. But this dude does not stop there. He goes, yeah, I mean, I love fashion. And then he does a little spin. As soon as he turns back to us, he goes on to be like, yeah, like all organic, vegan, like planetary vibes. We gotta respect Mother Nature. Planetary vibes. Who says that? I felt like I was being greenwashed. Mind you, he is just talking to that one girl in my group. We are just there because we're not abandoning our friend. Eventually, a couple more excruciating moments later, I get fed up and I'm just like, I'm gonna intervene. So I try my hand at getting to know the guy and I ask, what do you do for work? I could tell that he was like caught off guard and a little pissed off that I even said anything. And he was just like, well, I do a little bit of everything. Like, I like to call myself a modern day Renaissance man. He's like, I got my bedroom SoundCloud studio, I brew a little bit of kombucha, and I got a sourdough starter. And I'm thinking like, cool, fun, but these sound like activities and not jobs that make money. But anyways, I was just like, nice, that sounds fun, trying to wrap it up while still being kind. This dude goes on to be like, yeah, I mean, it is pretty fun. And then he turns to the girl, my friend, and he's just like, I mean, I like anything esoteric. Felt like he just learned a new big vocabulary word and he really wanted to use it. And I kid you not, this dude used the word esoteric in a sentence like 7 more times after that. But yeah, my friend conveniently had to use the bathroom right after that, and we never had to see this man again. But I'm sorry for anyone that has to deal with a pick-me boy like that on the regular. This is a warning. Do not participate in that trend where people tell their significant other or their parents like, oh, I'm so hungry, I could eat blank. And they basically just find someone on their parents' Facebook page that they've never talked to, and they're like, oh, I'm so hungry, I could eat that. Now, the reason I warn against this is because I tried to participate in this trend. I tried it with my father, and it did not go as expected. At first, it was all normal. I went to my dad's Facebook page, and I found this random woman, we'll call her Susie Q. Now, I thought there was a good chance that my dad wouldn't even remember this Susie Q. Boy, was I wrong. Nonetheless, eventually, I get into the same room as my father, and my mission was a go. So I'm in front of my father, and I casually try to just be like, man, I'm so hungry, I could eat Susie Q. I swear, you know when you can see love in someone's eyes? I saw it right then and there, but he plays it off cool, and he's just like, who are you talking about? I was just like, you know, Susie Q. He was just like, oh, how do you know about Susie? And why do you want to eat her? And I'm just so annoying because I was just like, I don't know, I'm hungry. Tell me why my dad goes on to be like, well, you know, Mark, Susie broke my heart. Huh? He goes on to tell me the most heart-wrenching story of him and Susie Q as if it was yesterday. I was not ready for that emotional distress. He was just like, she was the one that got away. Yeah, before telling someone you're so hungry you could eat their long-lost lover, protect your heart and be cautious. Also, Susie Q, if you're watching, all my homies hate you because you broke my dad's heart. But also thank you, because I probably wouldn't be here if you did it. If you're in someone's home and you see that they have some fun, cute-looking toys, you may be inclined to play with said toys. But I'm here to tell you, maybe don't, because not all toys are made to be played with, and I would know. I speak from experience. I was at my friend's house, who is also a fellow adult with a passion for a good toy, just like me. So I thought, what's the harm in playing with these toys at her house? We were watching a movie, we were playing with Legos, we were playing with some magnets, overall really good stim, and everything was fine at first. But alas, my bladder is the size of a peanut, so eventually I had to tittle. So I went to the bathroom. So I'm in the bathroom doing my business, and I look to the side of me and I see a nice big rubber duck sitting on the side of her bathtub. But this isn't just any rubber duck. This is like a cool clown themed rubber duck. And if you know me, you know I love unique rubber ducks. So I pick it up. Looking back, that was my first mistake. Then proceed to make my second mistake by bringing this rubber duck into my friend's living room and telling her how much I admire its clown theme. Now, I thought we would bond over our mutual interest, but instead, she gives me a look of absolute horror and grabs the duck out of my hand. She puts the rubber duck away in a huff, and then she comes back and she's like, Mark, that isn't just any rubber duck. My mind was racing. I was like, what did I do? I thought I disgraced some family heirloom like it was her late grandma's rubber duck. But no, she elegantly informs me that this rubber duck is a toy only she can play with. So yeah, I didn't know they made things like that. Now I can't trust any toy.